Hello friends, today I am explain horror movie name, Siccin Part 7. I hope you like it. Let's go now. Without further delay. At the beginning of the movie, an on-screen text explains a real phenomenon. There is a month in which no full moon occurs at all, known as a black moon. This mostly happens in February, about once every 19 years. One such black moon took place in February 2018, and the next will happen in 2037. This is crucial to the film because the story revolves around the Zalmat ritual, a horrifying ceremony performed during the black moon. The film opens with an old woman named Mehran visiting a sorceress in a shop. Mehran does not look entirely human, she appears possessed by a jinn, and many of her followers are already dead or destroyed. Mehran is desperate for revenge against a murderer. The sorceress tells her about the most terrifying ritual of all, one that even sorcerers fear. It must be performed during the black moon, specifically on its darkest night, called the Night of Darkness, a time of absolute darkness and mercilessness. The sorceress warns Mehran that once the ritual begins, there is no turning back. Mehran insists she wants revenge at any cost. The sorceress explains that Mehran must perform an azap ritual. She must sacrifice a child alive by burying them. Mehran then takes a child named Ahmet. On the night of February 16, 2018, the Night of Darkness, she infects the child with demon blood, marking him as a living sacrifice. Once this is done, the curse begins to work. The sorceress also possesses a special mirror, which is used to unlock curses from the Jinn world. Jinn are said to live inside a mirror world, similar to ours but reversed. Mehran successfully kills the murderer and his entire family, and the murderer eventually kills himself as well. Her revenge is complete. The sorceress then tells Mehran that she must bury the sacrificed child, Ahmet, alive in the earth. If she does not, she will experience unimaginable suffering. The sorceress gives Mehran an amulet made from the bones of 7 animals to protect her during the burial. The child's burial is meant to seal the dark process. Meanwhile, another character named Andin, known from earlier films, sees the dark night and grows worried. He wonders who the victim might be and whether anyone can be saved. The story then jumps to March 21, 2018, 5 days later. Mehran arrives at the house of a woman named Arzu, who has recently moved there. Arzu wants Mehran to stay and care for the household because Arzu's mother, Lail, is very ill. Lail has been suffering from Alzheimer's, forgetfulness, for 2 years and cannot manage daily tasks like eating, bathing, or using the bathroom on her own. Arzu's older daughter, Sirab, is unhappy in the new home. She has no friends and is rebellious. The younger daughter, Ruvia, has recently survived a serious illness, and Arzu asks Mehran to take special care of her. Mehran promises to look after the family as if they were her own. Arzu's mother, Lail, lies in her room muttering strange things, such as, "Someone else did this." Later, Ruveda tells Mehran that her father's wife once said she regretted something very much, and also says, "Someone else made you, you are not bored." That first night, everyone eats dinner, and while Mehran is feeding Lail, the old woman again begins speaking strangely, then wanders off. She starts spinning around and saying strange things. At the same time, she is looking at a painting that resembles the dark entity responsible for everything. She also says that any work done under it will end badly, and the price will be very heavy. She tells Meryl that Kamal has changed his fate, that he has done something to him. Lail also says that Kamal killed her daughter, and she didn't even know what he had done. For now, these things remain unclear. We then see Arzu's older daughter, Sirab, who dislikes the new place. Arzu talks to Kamal, expressing her worry. It turns out Kamal used to work as a doctor in a big city hospital, but due to stress, he moved to a small town and joined a small hospital there. Arzu asks why he couldn't have done the same in the city. Kamal admits he had a lot of tension in his mind, which made him very angry. It becomes clear he came after doing something terrible, and it's still haunting him. Meanwhile, Meryl is in her room. She still has the dark cell from the sacrifice ritual, but how is it with her? Then she is haunted by visions of the sacrificed child and the sorceress. Something grabs her. When she regains consciousness, no one is there. In the movie, when Jinn are involved, such weight is placed on everyone. Kamal has a nightmare. In the dream, he performs a blood type test and calls everyone to drink blood. He needed a ritual, which he goes to perform. He says that drinking this blood will make someone completely healthy. When he goes to get his daughter, he finds her covered in blood, with Lael standing beside her, saying, "Son, you shouldn't have done that." He takes the ritual into his arms, but it suddenly turns into something terrifying, waking him up. This was not just a vision. Later, Ruveda is sleeping with her sister, but something scares her so much that she goes to her sister, but her sister never called her. Now she refuses to sleep with her sister. Someone tries to stop the darkness. The dark entity threatens someone, saying if he does not stay out of the way, terrible things will happen, but the man is not afraid. He tells the entity that he himself would not come to threaten him. The entity leaves. Now Meryl is very worried. How will everything be fine? She feels unable to adjust. Meanwhile, there is mention of a man named Kazım, who used to turn children into slaves and make them beg for money. He orders his man to keep an eye on Meryl, believing she will do something crazy. He also keeps an eye on Kamal. We learn that Meryl was not able to save someone that day, and that there is a strong connection between her and Kamal. At home, Kamal gifts Ruveda 2 dolls, one named Ruveda and the other named Muhammad. The sweater Muhammad's doll wears is the same as the one the sacrificed child, Ahmet, wore. Kamal tells Arzu that Meryl's husband and son were killed in a land dispute, but because the murderer had connections, he was never punished. So Meryl found another way to get revenge. Now we understand why Meryl took revenge on that family. The old man who killed everyone and then himself was the one who killed Meryl's son and wife. At night, Ruveda is sleeping. She repeatedly hears evil sounds and her sister calling, "I'm scared, come to me." But whenever she goes to her sister, sometimes her sister is not scared, and sometimes she is bigger and more frightening. Finally, Ruveda wakes up. Ravina comes to her, terrified by the haunting. Meryl is with Lael. Lael becomes angry and kisses her, saying she didn't keep her promise, and now she will have to pay a heavy price. Meryl is very scared. Even while sleeping, the same things haunt her. She wakes up hearing the voice of her son, Hassan. She follows it out of the room. The ghost of Hassan kisses her, points to the doll Muhammad, and says, "Mother, you didn't keep your promise. You must keep your promise, or it will be very bad." Kamal goes to his mother Lael and tells her he now needs her life for his behavior. She says, "Okay, take my life, kill me. I will kill Ahmet." He asks how she knows about Muhammad. She says, "He is here. He told me." Kamal then places a blood drain tube on his mother's face and takes her to the stairs, from where he throws her down, but then he wakes up. It was a terrible dream. He goes to check on Lael, who is sleeping peacefully. But as soon as he returns to his room, she really calls him and says, "Kamal, this was not a dream. I am going to be saved." He goes to see, but she is not in her room. He runs to the stairs. There he sees her climbing up, but then she suddenly falls down and dies. The dream became true. In the next scene, Arzu talks to Ruveda. Everyone had told the children that Lael was in the hospital, not that she had passed away. But Ruveda says that Lael was there before her illness. She wanted to be with him very much, but after her illness, he left her. She always said that the Jinn had made her into something else, had changed her. Now we see Kamal, who is approached by Kazım. Kazım tells him that he ran away and came to his uncle's house, but he cannot escape for long. He will tell everyone what Kamal has done. Kamal had given Kazım some money before, but this is a dark matter. Some people believe it, and now those who understand will have figured out the whole story. Kamal comes home and is a little angry with Sirab because she spends all day on the phone. Sirab is very upset, no one pays attention to her. She has no friends here, and everyone is only worried about Ruveda. Then Meryl is shown remembering the words of the dark entity and the sorceress. She must bury the sacrificial child, or things will go very badly. A flashback shows that when Meryl went to save Ahmet, Kazım went there and took him away. Ahmet was a money-making machine for him. Later, at Kazım's base, one of his men beats a child because the child brought too little money. Then the child turns into the evil spirit of Ahmet, steps on the man, and kills him. Next, Rüveyda is shown. Lail and the family are mourning. Lail says she is dead, she is not in the hospital. At the same time, Rüveyda is also about to die. They get scared and run away. Arzu and Kemal come to take care of her. Rüveyda tells her mother that her grandmother is dead, she came to tell her herself. This means she already knew that Lail was no longer alive. After a while, Kemal has a terrifying vision. Inside, he sees evil versions of Arzu and Sirab, while Rüveyda and Ahmet, Muhammad, are sitting on an operating chair. A blood transfusion is happening between them. Kemal tries to justify himself, saying he had no choice. Which of the two children was he supposed to save? He wakes up from this nightmare and decides to tell Arzu the truth. He sits her down and explains everything. He took blood from Ahmet to save Rüveyda because no one else with the right blood type was available. But he took too much beyond the safe limit, which is why Ahmet died. Rüveyda was saved, but Ahmet was finished. Suddenly, Arzu disappears and both she and Sirab appear as vengeful spirits. They lick him terribly. Then he realizes he never actually told Arzu the truth. She was sleeping there, and he had fallen asleep in the chair. Either that, or the Jinn, the darkness, did this to him. Now Meryl is shown very worried. She gets a call from Kazım. He asks her what she wants to do. She says she doesn't want to do anything. Kazım says he knows everything, she didn't go there just like that. It is revealed that Mehran actually gave Kazım money to find Ahmet and his family, got all their information, and came there as a caretaker. She had a purpose for coming. A flashback reveals the real truth of the movie. That night, she was not able to save Ahmet, whom Kazım and his men took away. From Kazım, Ahmet was brought to Kemal, who took his blood for a transfusion. But Kemal took too much, and Ahmet died. Rüveyda had a disease that could only be treated with the blood of a specific blood type, but Ahmet was a marked sacrifice. He was a vessel of cruelty and darkness. His evil was gone, but the infected demon blood inside him had been transferred directly into Rüveyda. Now Rüveyda must be given as a sacrifice in the same way, she must be buried alive. That is why Mehran came. Finally, we see Kazım driving somewhere in his car. The children he had kept captive in front of him fall on top of him there. We see the man who had broken his knee and also suffered a head injury. He somehow manages to get into his car, where we see that evil Ahmet has arrived. He smiles warmly at Uncle Kazım, and we understand that he must have killed him as well. Now we are shown Kemal at home. He repeatedly scolds himself for what he did and even apologizes to his mother. He wanders around scared, from room to room. Arzu finds Mehmet watching an interview with Kemal on the screen, in which Kemal himself is telling how he bought Ahmet and how Ahmet died. It's clear he is slowly going crazy. Evil appears to Arzu, crying, and scolds her. After that, Arzu becomes possessed, and she also goes and possesses Sirab. This means the evil demon has taken control of both of them. We also notice the amulet made from the bones of 7 animals. It is here, indirectly indicating that the time for the sacrifice has come. Now Arzu and Sirab, both possessed, go straight to Meryl and tell her that this behavior has to be stopped. Meryl begins her preparations. Meanwhile, we see Orhan, who has come to stop the evil because he cannot let all this happen. Innocent people should not suffer. He goes to the same house. Evil tries hard to stop him, but Orhan does not agree. Evil challenges him by opening a gate and says, "If you have the courage, go ahead." If Orhan does so, Evil will choose his own death. But Orhan is not afraid and goes inside. Orhan is met with illusions and visions. He starts talking to them and asking their names, because knowing their names was necessary to defeat them. They mock him for a long time, but finally one reveals his name, Asfra. This might be the name of a jinn or a tribe. Suddenly, Oren grabs both of them by the throats and enters their world. There, Asfra and the Zalma darkness say that the girl, Ruveda, is a sacrifice marked by the sorceress in the shop. Evil says he is not wrong, rather, the wrong ones are those who sacrifice another child to save their own, like Kamal. Also wrong are those who kill an entire family for revenge, and people like Kazim, who imprison children and force them to beg. But Oren did not come to listen to their talk. The girl crying there is completely innocent. Evil says she is marked, a gift to them, and they will take her no matter what. The girl in the shop begins to perform her ritual, but Oren grabs her by the throat, enters her world, shocks her, and stops her from completing her work. Evil tries his best to defeat him, but Oren overpowers him, weakens him, and takes out a very strong amulet. With it, he sends them into the dirtiest part of the Jinn world, the filth of the body. Now Evil has left. The illusions and visions are completely gone. Everything returns to normal. Then we notice Meryl making Ruveda play a very dangerous game. Because Ruveda is a child, she agrees. Meryl puts a mask over Ruveda's face, ties her hands and feet, and places her in a pit, saying she must stay there for a while. The poor girl agrees. Then the spirit of Meryl's son, Hassan, appears to her and says, "Everything is fine. You don't need to do all this anymore." So Meryl stops. She pulls Ruveda out, tells her she played a very good game, and says she will always love her. After this, we see Kamal, who had gone completely crazy. It seemed as if Lael's spirit was still haunting him. Then his daughter Ruveda comes to him and says, "I am completely fine. Daddy, you get well too. There is no need for you to do all this." We are then told that this was all a real trick. In the outro, we learn that Meryl, Arzu, Sirab, and Ruveda all stayed in the same house. Later, it was discovered that Ruveda was never sick. It was Kamal who kept pretending she was sick. Seeing his madness, he was sent away for 6 years of treatment. In the final scene, we see Oren, who is ready to fight evil even further. Boom, the movie